it's not. They're not always strict on their rules as what the conviction would be for such. Because I've heard both. I've heard jail time, and I've heard where they just get slapped on the wrist. You know, want to keep the dockets down and all that shit. And this is not like a case of somebody tried to murder somebody or whatever. It's nothing like that. Although I have had death threats, and that's just another case, which I got in the back pocket. It's real. I mean, believe me, it's real. I can tell you how real it is. I paid for it. I paid 10 fucking thousand pesos for him to write this up. And the only reason he hasn't submitted to the prosecutor yet is because we're just kind of waiting what happens with something else. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's ready to go. It's ready to go. There's no question. There's no bullshit story on this. He's been paid. Done and done. And all he said to me was, well, let me know when you want me to submit it. I basically told him, I said, let me see what happens with the his case and with his girlfriend's deportation situation. If that goes sour for some reason, then he's got to go ahead to put in the other case. I don't have to be present either. Let's see, King of Discord. In my opinion, he is guilty. Gets fined 50,000 per charge, has to repay overstay, and is deported and blacklisted for life. That could happen. King of Discord goes on to say, on the evidence so far, I didn't see how jail time is warranted. Oh, it's warranted. It's warranted. He was pretty intense on this. They're the one that write the laws. I didn't write the laws in this country. You know, they do give people prison time for this shit. But you might have a very, sympathetic judge. I know nothing about him. Don't know. I just know that while sitting there, I've heard a lot of times that he gave people like 6 months in one day. 6 months in one day. 6 months in one day. I heard that left and right in two different courtrooms, actually. 6 months in one day. Shit, he could do that standing on his head, 6 months. He's done almost 19, so I can't see why he couldn't do 6 months in one day. The difference is he would be in Bicutan or someplace like that. Can he handle that? That's the only question. Pleading guilty equals undesirable is 5 years blacklist. When Barry is released, he will cause harm to Frank 100%. He's released. He's getting deported. You're forgetting that. He wants to try to confront me. He could certainly try, but he would never do it on his own. Or he'd have a baseball bat or a knife, his famous knife. He knows he couldn't handle me. He'd have to have a baseball bat, and even that might not work because he has to hit me first. But not getting into some physical violence discussion here, which we won't. He's not going to escape and make himself in a worse situation, believe me. He wants his freedom, but, he's thinking that if he does get, sent back to the United States, that he's going to be able to come back, but I just don't see that being the case. In combination of approximately 7 years of purposeful overstay and having 5 counts of cybercrime against him, I think he's going to be deemed as an undesirable, which he originally was, and I don't think he'll be able to come back. Okay, Mazda 9. His girlfriend was asked the other day how she envisioned her future with Barry. She said that she only thought about her and Barry for that day. In essence, no future. Well, I don't really want to talk about her on here. She has to find out things on her own. Like every other girlfriend he's had, they had to find out things on their own. It's their decision, stay or go. Like the song, should I stay or should I go? Dun, 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 dun. That's her decision. It's not yours. It's not mine. She has her own reasons for being with him. Beyond that, What the hell do I know? People make interesting choices in life sometimes. His girlfriend's Facebook shows she is a nurse. She's not a nurse. No, I don't know. I don't have any comment on that at all. Really. A nurse. Okay. Yeah, and I'm a scientist. I would comment more on that, but I'm not going to. Look, you can't force people to do something that they don't want to do. But I think in the light of, you know, eminent conviction and stuff that I think you would think, I would think, we all would think that, you know, kind of slow down on the reins on that horse because it's not getting you in a direction that's of any positive nature at all. It's just going to make it worse. But, you, me, everybody has tried to deliver this message to him in our opinions and advice and so forth, and he doesn't want to take it because he says on another show recently that he's not cocky, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you're not cocky. He's one of the cockiest motherfuckers I've ever encountered in my life. Needless to say, strife to humanitarian. Well, whatever the dude does upon his future freedom, when he either serves time or whatever, or gets deported, he'll just continue fucking up his life as he normally does. He didn't do a great job in the States very well, from what we understand, and this has been a continuum of his cockiness and attitude and disposition, whether it was the causation was growing up in a family that was abusive or whatever the situation might have contributed to his overall attitude. Again, I'm not a psychologist here, and I cannot tell you with any accuracy, what his total story is. You can get an idea of it, but I can't conclude, and as I said, I don't have the pedigree to make that conclusion. Depends. Yeah. Well, my girlfriend's not really happy for me doing any shows, even talking about all the bullshit that's going on here. That's why I decided to actually do this morning, because we're well beyond the point of having to continue to make speculation of, where this is all going and everything else, what's right and what's wrong, and you guys got to come to your own conclusions. It don't matter to me, and there's nobody running my life on YouTube here, and it's not like anybody's going to change my opinion on here with your own opinion. I just came out and basically asked what you think as a census on this, whether him getting a fine, which I call a slap on the wrist, is going to be adequate for this situation. You know, the courts want this to go away and move to more serious. Well, who said this wasn't a serious offense? Don't forget, he's also threatened my life how many times too. I don't know what you call serious, but that would be addressed in a future case. As I said, I'm just waiting what happens with a couple of things going on right now. I'm just waiting. He's paid for. It's all done. Done and done. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. Since I'm already paid, I'll pay. It's no big problem. Go, send it to the prosecutor for a second case. As what the DOJ, Department of Justice, would do in respect to her for being kind of in a collusion with all this stuff and to do that report on me to try to get me deported. Well, that will come in time. It's whatever they want to do. I'm not exercising this at all. It's just to let you know. None at all. None at all. I don't have any my lawyer has paperwork, but I don't have paperwork. It's not instituted by me. It's her very actions of making allegations against me as such when it's going to be deemed that it's been a collusion for retribution and revenge by her and her boyfriend. That's for them to decide and make their own conclusions. I don't have a special. I don't really have a special report on this. I don't have any written up paperwork on this at all. Zero. Only the second case for him. That I have. But no, I have no paperwork on her. I think it's going to iron itself out in its own way. It's whatever they decide to do, which basically means I'm not involved in this. It would be his actions getting her involved that could possibly get her in a world of hurt. And he's already starting to threaten me with that. If something happens to my girlfriend, she's got family and all that shit. It doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. Yeah. Would it surprise you if he was set free after paying a fine or going to prison for a few years? I guess. Well, I don't know what's happening. You know what? I don't know what's happening to all of them. Him, I mean. Well, that was included in the statements. I could tell you that. Yes. Yeah, in the original affidavit to the prosecutor, yeah, that was mentioned in there. Absolutely. But the case is not particularly about his death threats. That's a whole separate animal. However, the courts could look into that and use that as another tool. Well, you mean he also threatened you or you and your girlfriend or whatever? Yeah, they could look at that. How deep the fiscal looks at this, I really don't know. As you can see, I'm being very honest on this show today. I've always been. I'm not going to claim this. I'm not going to claim that. I'm just telling you kind of how it is. That it could go either way. But sure, both of us would be happy when this is all over with. That's for sure. No matter what happens. However, him getting his girlfriend involved, yeah, that's a whole nother issue right there. Obviously, I'm not happy about that. And everyone knows that she knew that he was an overstay. Of course she did. Of course. Judge Beach says 6 to 8 years possibly in fines for each charge. Well, we don't know that. See, I'm being honest. I'm not trying to scare the guy. I'm not trying to... I just told you. I have a different approach than you guys do. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and speculate what they're going to do to him. Okay, her Facebook shows she got a nursing degree from Gulas College of Med Cebu. I don't know, maybe she does. And why she didn't go into nursing? Maybe that would be a good idea. I don't know whether that's false information or not. And it don't really matter to me either one way or the other. If she didn't. I know personally another gal that went to college for nursing and, she decided it wasn't worth it. She'd make more money doing working at IT Park, hitting the telephones, Yeah. It seems horrible that you waste all that knowledge of nursing and have to work at a call center, but, she made that call and she decided to do that. Well, I don't know. I mean, look at Sentai 7. He dressed up in general's uniforms and Darth Vader and all that shit. Is he Darth Vader? Is he a general because, he used to get into cosplay? No. Whatever, guys. It don't matter to me. Whether she's a fucking scientist or whatever the hell she is, it just don't fucking matter to me. I personally don't give a shit about her, about her boyfriend. I personally don't give a flying shit. And I mean that. I don't give a shit. And whatever happens to either one of them, I'm sure they will deserve. But, as I said, I'm open to whatever the hell the judge wants to do, and leave it at that. It's kind of why I'm doing this show today, because I sat back and think, well, just fucking leave it alone, man. Why the fuck are you even talking about all this shit going on? Just let it be. Go on with your life and say, fuck it, man. What happens, happens. It's either in my control or it's not in my control. It just doesn't matter at this point. It really doesn't. He's already got, if you really want to look at it, you know, it's almost 19 months he's been jailed up. I mean, am I really that worried about what the decision is on him in court? No, I'm not really. I'm just going with the flow. That's all. Going with the flow. He's already incarcerated for almost 19 months. I mean, am I going to cry about this? No, I think I made my point very well. Well, of course, he did that to himself. I mean, he's blaming me, but the fact is, look, I didn't put a gun to his head and say, hey, man, don't pay your fines for 7 years. Did I do that? No, I didn't do that. I might have a slight disconnect in a minute or so. Quite frankly, I'm going out mighty white. Oh, that crap anyway. No, we haven't gotten to that point. I have a quit date. I'm not going to tell you guys what a quit date is. Got it all figured out, and it's going to be hell on wheels. It's been really hard to quit because of the fact that I'm dealing with so much bullshit going on right now. So I'm not making an excuse, but it's just a reality. No, there actually is a potential witness in here. I'm not saying who it is, whether they're related to anything. I'm just, he thinks it's bullshit, but it's actually not bullshit. It's not bullshit at all. My lawyer has to file a motion to add another, I think it's called a motion to waiting to see. We may not need to. It's according to what he pleads. And I'm not giving no advice to this. I'm not telling him to plead guilty. I'm not telling him, to not to plead guilty. I told you, I'm totally on the sidelines with this. He has to talk this over to his attorney that he speaks of so kindly. And they have to kind of mull it over and see what's the best route to take in consideration of many factors of where this can go. If you would ask me what I would do in a situation like this, man, that would be a hard one. I don't know. I think that if I was really guilty of something like that, and thinking that the conviction could be kind of severe, yeah, I guess I would have to plead. I would have to plead guilty, considering and nobody knows that's the whole thing. It's a crapshoot, is what it is. It's really like one of those things. I'm not like him. I don't hide. But the area I always go to, the reason it's not have a bad carrier, you know, it's just that there's a dead spot really from the satellite and everything else. When I
Yeah, there goes that $1.99 internet. Yeah, Patrick Glenn, was the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower there? That was my very first ship. I'm sure Brevis or Dipshit Travel would draw Frank's attention if Barry faded into the background. I'm guessing. LCFC, that's a damn good guess. Drew will be next. Bank on it. I look forward to that prediction coming true, but I kind of got the funny feeling either before the year is out or at the beginning of next year in January, Frank will be deported. That's my guess. Yeah, that would be funny. Steve, yeah, that would be hilarious. Oh man, that will be the only stopping it from happening. Oh man, I mean, can you imagine spending 10,000 pesos to have something written up you may not even submit to the court? Jesus Christ, this guy is a fucking lunatic. That will be the only stopping it from here, yeah. But yeah, that internet he's got, that's just some super duper stuff he's got there. Oh man. So how you guys doing tonight? Uh, he gets a weird sense of accomplishment from it. Yeah, I guess so. Guess so. Frank really doesn't want to face the 60,000 civil case in the U.S. Oh, that's it. That's it. This video is unavailable now. Ah, well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. And Patrick Glenn, I enjoyed talking about the ships with you. Uh, he must realize I'm simulcasting him. On what grounds do you think Frank would be deported? Well, on what grounds? When it comes to the Filipino that filed the BI complaint, which is now a charge sheet, that pretty much says you're going to be deported, and I would have to read that charge sheet, which I haven't gotten a look at yet, to tell you what grounds you could be deported on. But one thing I know is the Bureau of Immigration in Philippines can deport you just for looking the wrong way. Indeed, always a fun time. Yeah, I wonder if he will restart. He might not, man. Don C. By his own demonstration. He really likes that saying, by his own demonstration. Maybe I should do a Popeye one short saying by Frank's own demonstration. See how we'd like that. But guys, I'm gonna call it a night. And thanks for coming out. Y'all take care, and I'll catch you on the flip side.